Today, we are going to look at the history of Johnny the Witch. One of the awesome people on our Facebook group suggested we look up Johnny the Witch for one of our tales. Our mission was to trace down why John Henry Fox was called a witch and if he was the father of the famous Appalachian author John Fox Jr. Accounting for the fact that most of the early settlers of the area were Scotch-Irish, we traced down the history of how and why someone would be called a witch, and if the name would fit John Henry. First, let's get into the facts of the case. All aboard the Kentucky-Tennessee Living Time Machine. Please fasten your seatbelts and keep your arms and legs inside of the vehicle at all times. But to get going, we need your help. We still need to fire up that time machine to transport us. Please help us by clicking on the like, subscribe, and bell notification buttons down below. Not only does this fire up the time machine for our flight back in time, but it convinces the YouTube algorithm that we need a bigger vehicle to reach more people who love history as much as you do. Now, back to our story. Who was John Henry Fox? From the couple of genealogy pages that are available about him, the information gets a tad confusing. Everyone agrees that he was born in 1790 in North Carolina. But from here, hang on to your hats, because no two web pages agree about him. It is thought by many websites, but not by all of them, that he was born to Samuel Fox, 1775 to 1850, and Catherine Sizemore, 1770 to 1861 of North Carolina. It is said that Samuel came to America at 7 years old as a stowaway inside of a barrel on a ship. Because of his age, he was too young to sign a contract to be an indentured servant, so he was allowed to stay in America. John is the brother of Sarah Fox, Isaac Fox, Martha Fox, and William Samuel Fox, who is also listed as a half-brother. John's first wife was Nancy Cook of North Carolina. His second wife was Hannah Riley of Owsley County, Kentucky. Some web pages list the third wife as being Sally Fox. John is the father of 18 children. Their names are Elmar Fox, Lydia Fox, Sarah Fox, John Henry Fox, George Fox, Isaac Anderson Fox, Martha Fox, William Fox, Delta Fox, Miranda Fox, Peggy McIntosh, Fountain Fox, Martin Fox, Lucinda Fox, Harmon Fox, Mahalia Fox, Elza Fox, Hannah Smith, and William H. Fox. Was there a John Henry and a John Jr. connection? First, let's get into the condensed biography of John Fox Jr. John Fox Jr. was born at Stony Point in Bourbon County, Kentucky, to John William Fox and Miranda Worth Carr on December 16, 1862. He studied and graduated with an English degree at Harvard University in 1883. Although he would become a famous writer and wrote many novels, John Fox Jr. also worked as a jailer in Wise County, Virginia. He would work in this capacity guarding Dr. Marshall Benton Taylor during his murder trial concerning the Killing Rock. I've heard the father-son connection made between the two gentlemen. At face value, they do appear to be from the same family. But as you can see, the two men were separated by 72 years. It is possible that Johnny the Witch was an ancestor of John Fox Jr., but for right now, we cannot find the connection between the two men. It is the same thing as myself being an Adams, for example. We all came from the same patriarch from England who first took the Adams name hundreds of years ago. But after several generations, we became so distant from each other that we are considered no longer kinfolk. It would be sort of like me calling myself a cousin to Bryan Adams, the singer. Yes, we are very distantly related by our last name, but over distance and time, that relation has been watered down to the point that we no longer are considered to be related. The story of the nickname. There is a story about John Henry Fox that goes along these lines. We wish to thank the people at Fox's Committee who posted this information on RootsWeb. Please keep in mind that at this point it is only a story. There is no record of John Fox owning land in Tennessee. According to the story, John was married and living in Tennessee. It seems that there was a lawsuit concerning a plot of land. Fox felt that the magistrate at the time was not going to rule for his side because he had sympathies with the other party. So, before the ruling of the case could be heard, Fox picked up a rock, hit the magistrate with it, thus killing him. To get away, John Fox jumped on a horse and galloped out of town, heading for Kentucky. He left his wife and child behind. For a while, Fox lived in Perry County, then Owsley County, Kentucky. After and because of these actions, he became known as Johnny the Witch. Wait, but his nickname is Witch, right? Well, yes. John Henry Fox is known as Johnny the Witch in the mountains. The population of the Appalachian Mountains are filled to the brim with the Scotch-Irish people. We are a very proud, stubborn, common-sense people who love our mountains. But we have a lot of superstitions that came with us as well from the British Isles. We simply do not know why Fox earned this nickname at this point in time. We can only look back at the historical data of the time and try to find out possibilities. And it simply could be a case that this nickname was undeserved. When someone screams witch, all kinds of pictures come into our minds. The typical Halloween witch, which I am sure all of us have seen growing up in the movie The Wizard of Oz or in the movie Oz. Black pointed hat, green skin, black dress, riding on a broom. Sounding familiar? Or maybe you have another image in mind of the old widow woman who lives on the end of the street, whose grass has never been cut, keeps to herself with a million cat fur babies running around her house. Or how about the hippie woman who tends the garden and wears weird clothes and looks unkempt and says nutty things when you try to speak to her? Maybe that version sounds a little better? But as we will find out, none of these stereotypes fit what a witch was in the 1700s. Around the time that Fox's father, Samuel, hit the shores of North Carolina, the period of which the witch trials in Scotland was coming to a close. The Scotland witch trials lasted from about 1450 through 1750. In that 300-year span, it is estimated that close to 4,000 people stood accused of witchcraft. In that same time period, 2,500 people were executed. The scariest part of being accused of witchcraft at that time period needed little to no evidence, and anyone could stand accused at any time. While it was rare for a man to be accused of this crime, it did happen from time to time, and the man had a woman counterpart in the majority of the cases. He rarely had these charges leveled at him on his own. Witch was not the only name used for people who were the healers and those who had knowledge of spells and magic. Sometimes they were people called wise men and wise women and cunning folk. These people were often highly respected and looked to in the community when they needed help and could not afford or lived long distances from a doctor. However, they were at great risk. If the treatment did not work, or made the illness worse, or if there was a serious disagreement, this would leave the healers open to accusations of witchcraft. We have a huge example of this with the case of Dr. Marshall Benton Taylor and the Killing Rock. You could earn the nickname of witch if you were a disagreeable or grouchy person. Having a sharp tongue, getting involved in many arguments, and being critical of others could lead you straight into a witch trial. Also, playing off of the fears or scoffing at the fears of those around you could make the situation far worse for you in the end. So, why would Fox be accused of witchcraft? Well, we could find no report of how John Henry Fox came about the moniker of a witch. We can just about guess through looking at the reasons we previously listed. First, he was argumentative about a ruling, about a land dispute to the point he was willing to kill a person over the matter. Second, he killed the magistrate without proof that he was going to rule against him. Third, he left his family behind suddenly without a word or ever coming back. He simply got onto a horse, and it's really not clear if the horse belonged to him or someone else, and rode off into the sunset. But if we have to look back at history, none of these events match up to the nickname. So we have to sort of say that he was innocent of that charge unless other events can be proven. Fox would die sometime between the years of 1870 and 1880 at the ages of 71 to 94 years old, but for all the time he would be known as Johnny the Witch. Thank you. We at Kentucky Tennessee Living would like to thank you for watching our video series on the myths and legends of the Appalachian Mountains. Don't forget to hit that like button, as the more likes we receive, the more likely YouTube is to suggest our videos to other viewers. Also, to receive notice when we upload a new video, be sure to subscribe and click the bell notification button. Please be sure to double check that you are subscribed, as some of our viewers are finding that they are no longer subscribed to our channel. We thank you for continuing to support Kentucky Tennessee Living as we are discovering the mysteries in Appalachian history.